Welcome back everybody to another market day. I am your designated Inquirer. My name is Axel and today is 9/15/2020. Today the format's going to change a little bit. I'm going to be doing shorter videos, more of them of specific stocks and the overall market. So this one in particular is going to be about Tesla. So let's take a look at what Tesla did today. Today, if we go ahead and we move our trackers here as of where it's at right now, there, and we go ahead and we zoom out a little bit to the 2 hour, we'll be able to see basically what Tesla's progress is at the moment, because right now we've got 46% up from the low. Okay, so it's gone up about almost 50%. 50% of its value, 50% of its value just from last week. 50%. Let me say that again, just for the people in the back. 50%. It's gone up 50% from the lows. That's an incredible amount. Granted, well, it can happen. That can happen. It's Tesla, it can happen, right? It can also happen. The low, which is still, all right, the low, which is still, all right, 42%. Okay, it can drop 42% and jump almost 50% in a matter of a month. In a matter of a couple of weeks, it can drop and go up almost 50%. That's insane. Okay, this is not for the timid, for the you know, the weak of heart. Okay, this will give you a heart attack if you're not careful and if you don't have your stops. Have your stops in. Okay, today alone, if we take a look at what happened today just by itself, okay, we can't even do it from the open. We have to take yesterday into context, because from yesterday, just as a straight shot, it basically went 21%. 2 days straight shot, 21%. Okay, just today from its open, or from yesterday's close, okay, to the high, it went up 10%. 10%. Okay, the little dip that we saw earlier today, that was around the end of the day, okay, was kind of interesting. That was a 5% move. A 5% move within, this is a 5-minute bar, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 minutes. Within 45 minutes, it dropped 5%, which is incredible. The volume today was also high. Okay, this points us to what does the candle on the day look like. The candle on the day looks like this. Okay, it looks a little top heavy. Okay, it's got a large wick along the top. Okay, it should say that there's still more room to drop, but considering what we had yesterday, where we had a small wick on the bottom for a couple days in a row, I guess this move isn't too much of a surprise. But we do have a gap up, and at some point this gap has to be filled, so be careful. Okay, those of you that are running in with calls and stuff like that, have your stops on. Okay, because we did move today basically from 461 to 439 within a matter of like a half an hour, 45 minutes, right? Like, be careful. Okay, lock in your gains if you've got them. All right, if you've got like a reasonable amount of gains, lock them in. What's happened for the rest of today is a little peculiar. Okay, here, just to make it more visible here, right here, we've got basically a dip after hours, a consolidation, and now an upside turn. Okay, whether or not the rest of after hours looks positive or negative remains to be seen. We do not know what's going to happen. We still don't have any news yet on whether or not we've got a, let's go to Yahoo real quick. Yahoo, let's go to Yahoo Finance, just see if there's anything here there is no movement yet, or else it would be first. There's no movement on whether or not there was a bill pass. Okay, what did happen earlier today though was kind of interesting. All right, let me just go ahead and close this because it is eating up my memory. What did happen earlier today was there was a poll that came out that basically said that the investor class, because the people that were polled were specific, it was the investor class. It was a bunch of hedge fund managers and CEOs and board members, board members of various companies, etc. And they were all polled as to who they preferred, how they thought each candidate was doing, and on the economy, which is different than whether or not their policies they think are going to improve the economy. Those are two different questions. And it was very interesting what their positions were, because what the boots on the ground will tell you, basically, whether or not the president is actively helping the economy, the poll was saying no, he's not helping the economy. But do his policies help? Would the economies help would his policies help the economy? The answer to that question is yes. So it was very interesting. So we know where they lie in terms of their bias in terms of conservative and or fiscally conservative and or not, right, and or liberal, because those things are completely different as to whether or not like there is something actively helping and whether or not it should help. Okay, so there's a little bit of like mental not resistance, there's a word for it that basically like over implies your bias, etc., and doesn't let you think very straight, because they're making a judgment call whether or not he's been effective for the country, and whether or not policies that he wants to enact further help the economy. Whether or not you want to blame like all of it on coronavirus or not, like I feel like that's beside the point. Okay, if you've been watching this channel at any point in time, I think that answer for me, regardless of coronavirus, this just happened for me to be a catalyst. But there's been a dozen or so black swan events that happened to this economy, etc., that maybe should have caused it to falter, and the fact that it didn't wasn't a resounding indictment of to his benefit or to his detriment, but more to the overwhelming strength of the foundation that was laid for him by his predecessor. That is my opinion. In any case, Tesla today went up dramatically. Okay, hit overbought on the 5-minute, but more importantly than that, on the 2-hour. Okay, more importantly than that, on the 2-hour, it did hit like near a top of basically 83. Okay, which is really high on the overbought spectrum. Okay, and from there it dropped quickly. Okay, it still has not yet left overbought. Okay, it has not left overbought, which is incredible. Okay, can it stay overbought? It can stay overbought. Statistically, can that happen? Not very likely. What can happen from here? Well, second we get this turnaround in momentum right here. Okay, sorry if you guys can't see the overbought signature, because that happens when I have this on full screen but not taking into account whether or not you guys can see it. It is overbought and has stayed overbought for a good long while, basically across 2 days, which is pretty incredible. Okay, well, in the 5-minute, we just got overbought basically in the last section of the day. All right, which is important to note. It did hit a couple times, basically yesterday at the beginning of the morning, in the middle of the day, at the end of the day, overnight a couple times, and just at the end of the day into the close. Okay, whether or not that can continue to happen remains to be seen, but so far it has projected a lot of strength. Okay, whether or not it can stay in this range, go sideways for a little while, and transfer the point of control up to here around the 450 region would be very indicative of it being able to move higher. But if it stays down here and we go to visit these levels down here, basically at 372, then that means we can probably make a leg lower, possibly, because now we're not only strengthening this node right here for point of control, but we may also be putting in work here. Okay, at every point in time, the more we visit one particular area, the harder it is for us to be able to move that point of control. And what can happen later on is basically maybe it's just a widening around and about the point of control, but possibly visiting it by the end of the month. Okay, it's not for certain, it doesn't have to work that way, but statistically speaking, a stock will hang around its point of control. So a word of caution. In any case, that has been your Tesla wrap up for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow along for the rest of my videos. And if you guys think that somebody else should hear this, please go ahead and share it with your friends or whoever you think should hear it. In any case, please stay healthy, stay safe, and until next time, take care. Bye.